alive.
Hello, everyone! My name's Tamaya.
And I'm Annalisa.
And we're the Single Chicks.
The Single Chicks!
And welcome back to the Single Chicks podcast.
Yes, this is officially episode number 2. We hope you all enjoyed the Halloween content that we posted a few weeks ago. We really appreciate all the engagement and feedback we received from everyone, and we want to apologize for it being so long for us having an episode out. But we actually recorded an episode to come out the very next week, but there were so many technical difficulties that it just wasn't a product that we were proud to put out.
Yes, and it has definitely been a while, but today we are back and we're ready to talk more with you guys. And we have sent out polls over a few platforms, and we've gotten a few questions back. So we're going to be talking about anything you guys have asked us from Instagram or on our Spotify or from friends and family. So today we're just going to be answering some questions.
Yes, the theme will be first date ideas or just about dates in general. But
right.
Yes, we're answering questions. All those burning questions you have.
Yes, anything from dating to relationship advice, those who are like trying to figure out what to do in certain situations, or they're not quite sure what paths or what routes they should take, figuring out whatever may be going on. So we hope that we're able to help a little bit today, and I guess we will get started with the first question.
Which is?
So here, one person asked how to deal with first date jitters.
Okay, so I guess I can kind of talk about that a little bit first.
Yeah.
So I know, like, when you're going on a first date, whether it be someone that you don't know or someone that you know really well, maybe like a friend or an acquaintance of some sort, like you're always going to be nervous, and you should never like hark on yourself for like being nervous, because like that's a part of it. Like that makes dating fun and things like that. The unknown can be scary and things like that, but it's always an adventure. And I know I'm always up for an adventure, like a challenge, but in this case, an adventure. So I think like good ways to deal with that are just maybe like, just kind of thinking about if you want to ask them like questions or things like that, maybe think about it a little bit firsthand before you get to the date, so you're not like, OMG, what am I going to ask this person? Like, I don't know anything. Yeah. Or maybe ask to do it in a setting that you're more familiar with, so you're not having to get acquainted with the person as well as like with the space that you're in. I feel like that could be something that could help. Tamaya, do you have anything?
Yeah, you definitely want to be comfortable when you're going on a first date, I believe. And I think something to think about would be not staying so much in your head or overthinking anything, just being yourself and just thinking of this as like a fun experience to get to know another person, just like you do in typical settings when you're in a class and you're meeting your classmates for the first time, or you're working in a job and you're meeting your coworkers for the first time. So just think along those lines, so it helps you to not be so nervous going on the first date.
Yeah, just try and find some way to make yourself feel more comfortable in this situation.
Yeah, and think about it, the other person too. You know, this is the first date for them with you as well. So you're definitely probably not the only one who's a bit nervous or worried about how the date's gonna go. But just, you know, have fun and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
And just get to know the other person as much as you possibly can.
Absolutely. Okay, so next question. How to ask someone out if you think you've been friend-zoned?
I don't know. I think if you think you've been friend-zoned, I know some people are like, oh, I've been friend-zoned, so I'm just not going to worry about it, or I don't have a chance. But maybe just think on the positive side. If you actually really like this person and you really want to get to know them on a different level and you're very interested in them, I mean, just ask, because you're not going to get something out of anything like if you don't, you know, make the initiative, because you may think you've been friend zoned based on whatever you have decided those reasons are.
Yeah.
But in their head, they may be wanting to get to know you as well, or possibly go on a date.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just ask. You have nothing to lose. It's not like you're dating them anyway in the first place. So just ask them. I mean, there's just so many people in this world. If they say yes, then great. And if they say no, then that's okay.
Thank you, next.
Yeah, like they can still be a friend or whatnot, but yeah.
At least, like, if you ask them, you won't be stuck with the feeling of, like, regret.
Yeah, you won't be unsure about what could have happened if I did ask.
You shot your shot. You shoot your shot. Shot your shot. Okay, I don't know how to say that. Anyways, we're going to ignore that. But, like, you've tried to ask them, and you know the answer. Like, oh, maybe not. And if you friend zone someone, why did you friend zone them? Do you really think it's not gonna work? Like, what's the hurt in trying if y'all both agree kind of at the beginning, like, okay, if this doesn't go well, like, let's remain friends.
Yeah.
Then what's the worst that could happen? You get your meal paid for?
No.
I mean, like, you get to do a fun activity. How do you lose in the situation?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess a lot of people have their own opinions about like what being friend zone is and what's not being friend zone. So I guess it's just up to you. You're the only one who can make that decision. No one can tell you, you know, what the right thing is to do. That's all on you and how you're feeling. So I guess just trust yourself.
Yeah.
You know, stick with your gut.
If you think you've been friend zoned, please, we would love to hear from you and like actually like hear the situation and talk the situation out. Because I think that would be, because it's
I guess it's depending on the situation too, and like where you think you've been friend zoned, like what that all stemmed from, and like is there any background to the person that you're trying to date or have a relationship with? Like, are they your friend, and so you think that they probably can't go to the next level, or is it just someone new that you're trying and like they said something that you're like, oh, they friend zone me, but like you're not quite sure? So let us know in the comments or send us a message and maybe we can help you try to figure that out if that's the case.
Yeah.
But on going on dates, another person asked, what's a great first date idea for a cheap date or like a date on a budget? I know that was something that we thought about or we're going to mention from the first episode. I know that was something that was suggested to us.
Yeah, money's tight. Like,
yeah.
But everyone understands that. Like, they don't expect you, especially like if you're in college or like working first job, like they're not expecting you to take them out for a 9-course meal.
Yeah.
Like that's understandable. So I feel like
honestly, are you gonna go?
You go.
I honestly think that if you go on a date and I feel like the ones that are more creative are probably the ones that are less expensive, you know? Because if I think about like a date on a budget or just like something creative, I don't think it would be something super extravagant that's like gonna cost you hundreds of dollars, like going out to like a fancy restaurant dinner or, you know, making reservations for something that, you know, is pretty heavy on the pockets.
Yeah.
I would think something like a picnic if it's like the spring or summertime. Some people might really like that. Or even if you like do your own kind of painting with a twist, that would actually be kind of a fun idea. Like to just go buy some canvases and paint and have some like hors d'oeuvres done for you guys to go on a date and just like paint something or, you know, make something, because like then that's something you can keep later on. And then I also think, I guess it just depends on the person, but some people do like big extravagant stuff. But then also keep in mind, I would think, is that it's a first date, so are you ready to spend so much money on something that has a 50-50 chance of going on to a second date or not? Because if you're going on tons of first dates and you want to go all out, you're going to be all broke. So, I mean, that's something to consider too.
Yeah, but some, like, you could always just, like, if I feel like buying flowers for like either party
Mm-hmm.
is like nice. So
Yeah.
you could always get some flowers and say like, hey, I'm gonna cook.
Yeah.
Or like if you're friends or you like happen to know their favorite fast food restaurant, hint, I like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Like that'd be a cute first date. No, but also like you see the trend on like Instagram where it's like this couple took their wedding photos on their favorite favorite date place, and it's like McDonald's. Like that can be fun as long as you make the situation or the date like exciting. Like the real reason you're going on the date is to get to know the person.
Mm-hmm.
So if it really matters to them where you take them and things like that, maybe that's not someone you're looking for.
Yeah.
Like it can always work out in the end, but maybe that's not something that you want because you can't always every single date.
Right.
Like I said, take them out for a 9-course meal.
Right. That's
not reasonable.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because a first date is like a first impression.
Yeah.
So I think for some people, they go on a first date and it's super elaborate. Some people might actually expect that for
Every
like
time.
the entire duration of the relationship, if it does continue, versus you like going on a first date that's just simple. Even if that's like going to grab coffee or like a nice little brunch somewhere, a cute cafe that you really like or you think the other person might like, that may be more suitable just for figuring out if you're wanting to go on a second date and probably doing more to pique their interest.
That's a good idea. I think
in
also
the other person.
Like a good first date, or if you're worried that like taking them out on like a cheaper option would be a concern or like a deal breaker for that person, maybe tell them like, hey, I wanted this to just really be about you and I didn't want any fancy anything.
Mm-hmm.
I just really wanted to get to know you. That's impressive in itself.
Yeah.
Because you being willing to like say that and do that, one, that takes confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And two, that makes a person feel good because they're like, oh, they really want to get to know me. Like, yeah, if I was being dined and dazzled and all of that, like I would be kind of like, OMG.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do here. Like I'm kind of distracted. Like it would take away from the person.
Yeah.
So
and they'd probably be more focused on everything that you're putting into the date versus like actually getting to know you. So like kind of doing super big extravagant stuff sometimes might not actually allow them to get to know you as a person as well. And then you're probably so focused on making sure everything goes according to plan and you're not able to truly get to know who they are as well. So I guess it just depends on what some people are looking for. But some people do want to go on a date just for that and aren't really expecting for the relationship to like go any further. So I guess you really have to decide what's more you're looking for and your reason for going on the date in the first place, because everyone has their own reason. So it's definitely up to you to make that decision on how you want it to be or what your expectations are.
And that's funny that you say that, because there was this girl in high school where she would tell me that she liked to go on different dates just because like she didn't have to pay for a meal.
Mm-hmm.
Like if she knew like her family didn't cook at home.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, that's a free dinner for me.
My.
So she kind of, I don't think she's dating. I don't think it worked out for her. But you know, oh well.
Yeah.
But okay.
So that's something to think about.
Yeah. So this reading, kind of pre-reading this question, seems like a very thought-provoking question. So how have societal gender roles changed, and what impact does that have on young people looking for a long-term relationship?
Yeah, I guess this can kind of sort of tie into the first question. So the first part, I'm guessing like how dating has changed in our society now. It's not quite the same as typical courting. And then also nowadays it isn't always the guys making the first move. It's also the girls, you know, initiating some sort of interest or asking a guy out on a date.
Yeah.
You know, so I think, you know, there's like a equal playing field for people to decide who they're wanting to date, and how they want that to look like.
Yeah, like I said earlier, like I love for people to buy me flowers, but like I love to buy flowers for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that be like someone that I'm dating, girl or, well, I'd be guy. But, just a preference for me. But like, it doesn't matter either way. Like, everyone just like likes to be kind of pampered in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you know your girlfriend, boyfriend, I don't know what I'm saying, but girlfriend, boyfriend, like Smoothie King. Like, I know Tamaya loves Smoothie King.
Just like a nice gesture, something that you thought about because you're thinking about them, and they're like, oh, they took the time to remember I like this sort of thing, and obviously it shows that you were thinking about them and whatever.
Like, especially if that's like their love language, because that plays a big part into like if someone feels like a good connection with you or not, because that is how that person interprets you caring for them. Yeah. So never feel that like, oh, I can't buy flowers for my boyfriend, for my date. Like, no. Yeah. You can always do that. Also, if you're a girl, I've asked guys out. Like, don't feel like that's something that they have to initiate, because some guys take 20,000 years. And you're like, no, I'm sorry. Like, I understand you need time, but that's too long. Like, take, if you want to go on a date with that person, or you have been dating that person and you want to go on another date, initiate it. There's no problem with that. If they have a problem with it, again, maybe that's a red flag. Maybe that's not someone you want to be with.
Yeah, honestly, I think sometimes one person who like acts on the first date might not know where the person stands that they asked, so they may kind of be waiting to see what you're thinking about how that first date went, or letting you make the decision, because I know some people may not want to like press a second date on someone if they're not sure if the feelings were reciprocated. So, you know, that's also something to think about too, that they may be waiting for you to say, hey, let's go on a second date. I had so much fun, but they're not trying to press you at the same time. But that's just open, you know, having good communication and, you know, talking with one another to see if that's something that you guys both want to do. Right. But answering the second part of the question with impact having on people looking for a long distance or long-term relationship, I think that's something that, one, when you're dating, you should probably know what stage you're at when going on a date beforehand, and knowing, hey, am I going into this because I want something serious? Am I going to this just because I don't know who I'm interested in nowadays? Am I going to this just because I feel like going on a date right now, but I don't want anything serious? So I think that's the first step you probably should think about before going on a date. And then from there, when you're actually on a date, figure out where that person is too. I know some people have said it's been helpful in the beginning for both parties to say, hey, I'm looking for something serious. Or like, hey, I'm actually really looking for a long-term relationship. I'm ready to be committed to someone. So then you guys both know. So, on to the next question. We have, if you and your partner are on a break, what does that mean? Are you single? Are you still together? Like, what's going on? I don't know.
That's a good question.
I think, again, like we've been saying this entire time, you guys probably should say, hey, we're going on a break. Are we going to talk to different people while we're on this break? Or are we just figuring ourselves out and then we're going to come back together later? Definitely establish and make an agreement with your significant other and what you guys gonna do, because it can become messy really quick. Absolutely. If that isn't already made clear and one of you or both of you decide, hey, I'm gonna go on more dates, I'm gonna go see other people or talk to someone else. And then it's like, you're cheating on me. We were just on a break. And you're like, yo, you said we were on a break, so I thought I could do whatever like a single person. So, yeah, you guys definitely have to figure that out.
You really do. I know, like, I've had some friends where they broke up because when they were on a break, they didn't know what that meant. So
Mhm.
either they were the one that was like talking to someone else,
Yeah.
or I know in one instance it was like someone who was like helping them to try to get over the person, and they were like, oh wait, we like each other. But then you think of like the Friends episode, we were on a break, like all of that. I always refer to Friends. But
That's funny.
yeah, like Tamai said, you gotta talk about that. You have to set those boundaries.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, on to the next question. What to do if the person you're interested in is a person that has kids? Well,
I guess that's something for you to determine yourself.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure. I guess it's all like who you are as a person. Like,
Right.
does it really matter if you like someone if they have kids? Like, what is the level of importance for you
I guess it
in
also
deciding if you want to have a relationship with them? Because, you know, that means you probably will end up having a relationship with the kids and everything that comes with the kids, because they do have another parent, you know, outside, you know, the one that you're dating, you know, they still have another parent sometimes.
Really think about it, because that can affect the kids. If you like try and like, you're like, okay, let's pursue this, and then it really doesn't work out, like really doesn't work out, I mean, that can be detrimental for the kids. And not to put more pressure on you, but also think like, do you even want kids?
Yeah.
Because there's some friends of ours where they don't want kids.
Yeah.
That's not something that they want. They would have to, like, maybe later down the road after they found the right person, and it's like, oh, I want to have babies, things like that. But like right now they're like, I don't want kids.
Yeah. And then I was going to say also, think about if you're ready to take the responsibility, you know, for being someone that kid is looking up to, or someone like of importance that is another parental figure. But I guess also you have to have the conversation with the person that you're dating that does have the kid, because it's really up to them on how they feel they want to introduce you to their kids and what role they want you to play in their kids' lives. But also you making it clear that if you're dating someone, what you are expecting for someone that you're dating, you know, if they have a kid. Because for some people, they're like, hey, it's your kid, I want to be in a relationship with you, but you let me know how you want to handle this. You let me know when you think it's ready for me to meet your kid, because, you know, that is their child and that's someone that they're protecting. But then on the other side, for you, I think you have to also know, like, okay, if I'm dating someone that has a kid, I don't want to be totally non-existent to that kid. Because then it's like, for some people it's like, well, where do you place me? And it's just such a tricky thing. So it really is you both figuring out how y'all want that to go, you know, while also considering each other, because one, they've chosen you knowing that they have a kid, and you've also chosen them and have accepted them having a kid as well. You know, so that's something to look out for. And I think a lot of times people don't realize when they are a single parent and they have a kid and they are going on a date with someone, or they end up in a relationship and it doesn't work out. I think sometimes they forget that kid has also now built a relationship, and sometimes a strong one, with that person that you're with. So if that breakup ever does happen, a lot of times I feel like the parents don't realize that other person that you were dating has impacted your kid's life, you know, in some way. And that just because y'all's relationship is over doesn't mean it's just like a natural break, that the kid's relationship is done with that person, you know, you were dating. You know, those are like two separate things that happen, you know, despite, you know, whatever caused the relationship to end. That was just you and that significant other's relationship. That wasn't you and the kid.
Right.
You know? So there's just so many things that play into that situation. There's a lot of things I think to figure out, and a lot of thought behind the decisions that are made between a person going into the relationship, knowing the other has a kid, and another person that does have the kid, also taking into consideration the person who is willing to accept that.
Right.
Because everyone doesn't accept to date someone for that already has a kid, you know, just because of their own personal reason.
Yeah, I know some people, they're like, I just, like, the kids that are going to be in this relationship are going to be ones that were made between you and I, and not from someone else, because that basically in a certain aspect does bring a third, I guess fourth person, the kid, and then whoever their mother, father was into that relationship as well.
You know, if they're still present in the kid's life, though. You know, it's definitely different if the other parent is not, if they're, you know, no longer with us, or if they just totally just aren't present in the kid's life. So that is a different, you know, situation, because it is just that one parent, the one that you're dating, that you're dealing
I would
with.
also say, like, on advice as to how to have a relationship with the kid is to make sure that they understand, because some kids will get very, like, not territorial, but they're like, you're not my mom, you're not my dad.
Yeah.
And kind of approach it of the way as, like, you're not trying to be, but you are trying to have a relationship with their mother, father, whomever it may be. So you would like to get to know them. I know, like, kind of opening the door, in a sense, to that relationship with the child can be kind of like a stepping stone in a way that could actually help you and their parents' relationship as well.
Yeah.
Because they see that you're taking the time to get to know this other, or their child that means so much to them. That could be something too. But decide first if that's something you want to pursue, knowing that they have a kid.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of things to talk about and make very important decisions on.
Right. So, next question.
This one was kind of funny when we got this question.
This one was really funny.
Someone asked, what do you look for
in a guy? So I will.
That's so funny.
I think this is funny because we're trying to give advice here, and I feel like whoever sent this, we know exactly who sent this. Okay, I don't know the person. Devine knows the person, but I think it's funny because it's like, I don't know. I just think it's hilarious. But if you're listening to this bonus content and you would like to share what you look for in a guy, please message us, and we will also relay this information back. Because I don't know if the person that's asking is trying to
Girls,
make them...
what do you look for in a guy? And guys, what do you look for in a girl?
Yeah.
Or anyone, what do you look for in a significant other?
Exactly.
Or someone you're interested in?
Exactly.
I don't know. We can give our perspective.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess.
I know we both kind of talked about this. Like, we want someone that will, like, make us laugh.
Yeah,
like,
someone
entertain us. We want to stay young. They say laughter keeps you young.
Yeah. Someone
you can.
that I don't know. Someone that likes to meet new people and like to be around others.
Yeah.
I like to meet new people and learn new things.
We're both very sociable.
Yeah.
So kind of, I don't necessarily need someone that's outgoing, because who knows, someone that's very, like, introverted could be, like, my soulmate or something, if you believe in that.
Yeah.
But...
Or someone who travels. I love to travel.
Oh my gosh,
I want to go on a month cruise.
A month cruise? Tamaya,
a week is not long enough anymore.
You would get back on land and your legs would be shaking.
I know.
That's so funny. But I guess also, I don't know, what do you look for in a guy? While I don't always have to be, like, razzle-dazzled, like, I do want to sometimes.
Someone who wants to, like, pursue their dreams. You know, someone with a good work ethic.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, they don't necessarily they don't have to, like, have everything. I really want to find someone where we can both meet each other at the stages that we're in currently in life,
Oh, and, like,
then
grow
we both
together?
like work together to grow both of our dreams, if that makes sense. I know sometimes that doesn't work out because you guys, they start to get so focused on their one thing and they kind of like go apart.
That's so
But it's
cute,
like,
though.
I help you work on your things, you help, like we help each other. Like if we help each other work on each other's things,
Love languages.
we can work together instead of like, okay, you work on your stuff, I work on my stuff, and we'll meet, you know. I just want someone that we can work and build things together, like entrepreneurial type stuff, and then someone that I can travel with, because there's just so many places that I want to go visit around the world, and food.
I know. Tamaya loves food. Tamaya and
I want to try.
We were talking about this earlier.
That's what we were talking about on a first date. Annalisa was like, oh, let's go out to like a one-on-one dinner. And I was like, for a first date, how about like we go hang out with some friends so I can see the type of person you are. Because I was like, if you're asking me to dinner, I'm going to be like, okay, we need to go here. I'm going to be focusing on the food more than you. Because I didn't come here to have cold food and for me not to be enjoying my appetizer entrees. Okay?
So if you hear that and you're trying to ask Tamaya on a first date, you need to ask in a friend setting.
Or I said we can go eat them. We can go hang out and do something fun, you know, like bowling or roller skating.
But basically, don't be trying to interrupt Tamaya while she's eating, asking her questions, trying to get to know her.
I'm gonna be like, oh wait, hold on.
Let me stop you. Let me finish this meal and then I'll answer all your questions. I think something else I look for, guys, I want you to be adventurous in some type of way. Like, either, like, I like to travel as well, but also, like, to try new things. Like, I love to be challenged, and I really love for, like, my significant other to want to do, like, the same sort of thing. And then, I also believe in, like, this is more for, like, a married life scenario. But, like, for me, I know I'm looking for something more long term. I'm trying to get married. I'm kind of kidding. I'm half kidding. But for those who don't know us, like, I'm the furthest possible from that ever happening, and I don't plan on that happening.
Oh my god.
Like, anytime soon. Like, please no. But like, ultimately, that's the end goal. But I would like some sort of like equal partnership in terms of like things that we do for each other, or like paying bills, or paying for like what we want to do. Yeah, things like that.
Yeah.
I also
someone to just live a good life with, you know, and you know, take care of the people that we love, and just like enjoy life together with one another. I think that's what I always think about.
Yeah, I know people are always like, what's your type? Like, I'll get asked that question.
I definitely do not have a type.
Neither do I, because I get more attracted to knowing things about the person.
When I learn about people and get to see like their personality, like they look physically, some look totally different from the other. Well, that's all, folks. That was our last question from you guys, and we had so much fun answering them. Please send us more, and we'll definitely have to talk more about what you guys want to know in the next few podcasts.
Yes, thank you so much for listening, and send us a message if you would like to be a special guest
on
our podcast, or like Tamaya said, if you have more questions.
Yeah, and remember that we do have our podcast available to listen on Spotify and YouTube. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We'll be posting some extra content and updates for you guys to know what's going on with the Single Chicks podcast.
Yes, as always, we believe in retail therapy.
Bye.
Bye.